Welcome to Scheduled Nonsense. I'm Sarah.
I'm Katie.
Let's get into it.
Two mics, two minds, yapping about everything all the time. Unfiltered thoughts with no defense. Tune in to Scheduled Nonsense.
I think we've covered our favorite bites. I mean, we had a few other honorable mentions. I really liked Tall Poppy, and that there was a croissant filled with cheese, with there were walnuts and hot honey. Once again, when hot honey enters the chat, there's no going back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like honestly that I had missed out for many years, not having been on the hot honey train. There was many years that I'm like, I'm not trying that shit. Why would anybody want to have that? I'm not doing that. I was like you, like I'm not doing it. And then we go to have pizza one night, and I don't know what possessed me to order a pizza with hot honey on it.
That was the first time you had hot honey?
That was the first time I'd ever had hot honey.
Oh, this pizza, it was what? Blackberry, goat cheese, pecan. Was it pecan?
Pecans and spinach.
You could tell me anything was on that, and I would say it was freaking delicious. It was so good.
It was so good. Like, sauce who? We don't know her. We don't need her. We just need hot honey and oil. Like, that's all we need. It was so good, but it, like, got me hooked on the hot honey stuff. And now I'm on board, and then we have a weekend full of hot honey, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to live now without this? It's like Beyonce saying she got hot sauce in her purse. Well, I'm going to carry hot honey in my purse from here on out.
That's what you'll be known for.
Correct. I have hot. You need something? Oh, I got hot honey. Here you go. Oh, I asked for ketchup. Well, you need this more.
This is better. Oh my goodness, hot honey on French fries sounds so good.
With something like beer batter double fried French fries, that would be bomb.com. You've had beer batter fries and you just don't even know it.
For sure I have.
Man, I'm pretty sure that the fries that we had at Chaquette were beer battered.
Oh, the shawarma fries, those were so good.
Yeah. Those were, I mean, the shawarma fries, the shawarma part is the seasoning on.
Correct. I do know a few things. I don't know what shawarma was. But.
You don't know what shawarma is?
Well, the seasoning. It's like taco seasoning.
It's usually on beef. It's usually beef or lamb that shawarma is used for.
Yeah, that's why I don't know her.
But she's delicious. However, have you had falafel?
No.
Okay, well, you would like falafel. Falafel is vegetarian. You would like her.
I'm not really taking new applicants, but I'll let you know.
Okay, well, you're going to have to reconsider. I'm just saying falafel with some spicy garlic sauce is where that shit's at.
Would you switch out the garlic sauce for hot honey?
I would do both.
It's too wet.
So delicious, though.
Anyways, and I do want to mention about that Tall Poppy hot honey goat cheese croissant, that I can only imagine what it was like in its heyday, aka 8 or 9 a.m. when they actually made it. Because that croissant went through a journey. It did. Went through it. The bag got wet as we walked to the Harry Potter store.
Yeah.
Correct. Oh no, well that wasn't there was another croissant that we had that really went through the ringer.
Well, that's true. That one was not as squished as some of the others, but it was kind of flattened.
But it also got packed within an inch of its life, as did we, into a train car at Newark Airport.
God bless that airport. They need it.
The most ominous symbol for how the rest of our evening went.
Correct.
I've flown in and out of Newark countless times. I know that it has been a little sus lately. Things have been a little up and down. I personally feel like Newark has the best, most convenient way into the city and also being affordable. But boy, oh boy.
I think we should just fly into LaGuardia from now on. I'm good. But one and done.
LaGuardia, 2 planes almost collided at LaGuardia the other day.
Well, I didn't
It's
need to
not
know
safe
that, Sarah.
anywhere.
I guess I'm taking the train every time I go into New York City now. Like, shit. I'm just going to
Well, I
drive my
appreciate
ass
that you
into
ignored
Moynihan
the third
Station.
option. I appreciate that you ignored that JFK is just not an option, because
I honestly forgot it existed for a second.
that is correct. That's who Taylor was really singing about. So, yeah, the train car pulled up, and it was you and I and a few other people. I had a backpack full of croissants.
Chill.
As you do.
Yeah, this is the way.
After I had to deal with a man, when I thought I lost my subway ticket and I had to get into, I'm like, sir, no one wants to willingly come into Newark Airport if they don't have to. It's a means to an end. He was like, well, you're going to have to hop to get, he was just being very, and I had to deal with that. So I should have turned my happy ass right around.
We should have just stayed in New York City. Yeah.
That would have been a better plan than
what preceded
everything else that day.
Yeah.
So, we get on at the first stop, and a few people get on. And then I feel, was it the second stop that too many people got on? Just too many people
I think
got
it
on.
was the second stop, yeah.
And there was this poor kid, maybe, 6, 7?
He was very small. Very small child.
Stuck in the middle of it. Looked just the biggest eyes I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Holding on to for dear life to these suitcases.
That were bigger than him.
Yeah, and he's standing in the middle of the train car, and his family members are sitting on the bench.
Literally, they were sitting over on the bench. They were sitting on the bench.
And they were sticking to it.
That's who John Mulaney was actually talking about, was those guys.
But I can still see it whenever, there were too many people on that train. There were too many. And then we hear a voice from outside the train car, once those 2 additional people were on the train and shouldn't have been, that said, I think we can fit more. And I think half of the train car went, no. Croissants smushed, and I'm trying to be chill. I'm chiller than I used to be, but I'm not the most chill person you've ever met. And I had a backpack of expensive croissants that were getting crushed, and it was all fine. I cared more about the small child that was potentially getting crushed than my croissants. But it just didn't really get any better. We eventually got, at the next station, I will note that the small child's family seemed to leave him.
Well, okay, so I think part of them, half of them got off, but there was also the old guy that was literally sitting on the bench that was also with him, who could not give a shit what was happening with this kid.
I never looked at this kid. Even going down the escalator trying to manage his bags, this small child, and the guy was just
could not care less. Could not care less. That kid was on his own. This was a life lesson for that child, and that guy was going to make sure he learned it.
This was Home Alone 2.
Correct.
For this child. Figure it out. But we journeyed through. I don't recall having a lot of trouble at security.
Well, you didn't have trouble.
Oh, you did. Correct.
I did.
That's right.
Twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry.
We went over this. Well, correct.
It's the Sweeney name. I know it's been tarnished at Newark Airport specifically.
Yeah, they won't stand for your kind coming back through there.
No.
And they just have a picture of you on their wall.
Correct. And unfortunately, I look a little too much like my sister for me to get through unscathed.
They knew. So we get through security. Fine. I feel like, the lead up to the day, your flight had been getting delayed. There were thunderstorms thunderstorms in the New York tri-state area. And then there was also low visibility in Maine. Which is where
that was the first delay, was because the email said specifically that they were limiting the number of arrivals per hour at my destination, which was Portland, Maine. PWM was
Correct.
having a rough time, apparently.
They took that to a whole new level,
Well,
but
we'll get there.
It might be the funniest story I've ever heard. I still can't think about it without crying.
All right, we'll get to this, but my favorite part of the story is that you didn't realize it until later. When you called me and you were like...
Days later, the next day.
Yeah, correct.
That evening, I think, was it a week ago?
Yeah, it was exactly a week ago. It was a week ago today.
Yeah, and again, we'll get into it, but I only half read Katie's messages when I woke up at, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Because my flight, I mean, pales in comparison to your flight, but my flight got in
late.
Between 11:30 and midnight, maybe? Or was it later? I don't remember.
Midnight sounds correct, because I think you left New York somewhere around 10:30. And so it's an hour-ish flight. That would make sense.
It was, because I remember your flight was supposed to land at like 1:40 something.
Correct.
And I remembered trying to stay awake. I remembered seeing the clock at like 1:20 and then 1:30, and I was like trying to make it just to hear that you'd landed. And I fell asleep, as I often do. And so,
makes sense. We had been up since we got up at like 5:30 in the morning to get ready for the bakery tour.
We did. Sorry. But I went to sleep sometime around 1:30, and I woke up sometime between 5:30 and 6:30 when I was getting ready for my job, and I half read them. I saw that you landed safely, and I was like, good for her, and it seemed like a journey, but maybe not landed a flight. I don't know. I read.
I did at one point text you about to land, so that's probably what you saw, and you were like, oh, everything's fine.
Perfect. So I went about my day, and then, I heard from you a little bit later, and I was like, oh boy, that was even more than I thought. And then later that evening, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because it was like 5 o'clock when you called me.
It was bad. So flights kept getting delayed. Your flight, which was supposed to leave. You were supposed to leave hours before me, and then you were pretty firmly behind me for departure time at a point. So we were in a similar gates in the same terminal.
Terminal A.
We were looking for a snack or dinner or something. Or no, we had our little mini croissant feast in the airport.
We did. It was fantastic. There was those 4 old people sitting across from us whose flight was also delayed, and they were pissed, but they were sitting there judging us the entire time. I don't know if you clocked that, but I did.
Oh, I certainly didn't. For a moment, I was focused on the hot honey croissant.
Well, fair.
Nothing else mattered.
The one of the women in particular, she was giving us some eyes. She was not impressed.
Oh, really?
She was not impressed with our croissant feast, but she also looks stock up. So I mean, God bless her.
If it makes her feel any better, I didn't even fucking notice her. So.
Oh, well, that's good. You didn't need to. I'm
glad she has that stress in her life, because I didn't. Yeah, we wandered. I think we looked for dinner for you, and then we realized at one point that my terminal got changed.
Correct.
And we had made plans that we would separate at some point, and I would go over to my terminal. And then, lo and behold, your terminal also got changed to the same terminal.
Two doors down from your gate.
The universe understands that we can't be separated.
Correct.
We ventured over together in what you considered a very suspicious situation. We took the escalator down and we boarded a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were I forget if we started in A and ended in C or vice versa, but you rolled up to B, and you were like, if the terminal I'm supposed to get off at looks anything like that, I will certainly not be departing.
I really think that if I had been changed to Terminal B, I would have just booked that Amtrak and left. Like,
Yeah.
I would not have
So,
stuck around.
we debated. We were walking the New York City streets. We were in the Harry Potter store. We were in the hotel lobby. We debated, what's the best option? There were no rental cars to book for you.
No.
I felt pretty confident in my flight. I was flying into Dulles, so
Major
I
airport
felt
to major airport.
I felt pretty assured that even if I couldn't fly out at night, that there would be a very early morning option for me. I generally have to be at work by 8 at the latest. I try to get there by 7, but I felt comfortable in that. You didn't have to work the next day, which turned out great.
Thank God.
But you were flying into a smaller airport, so
Very small.
we had
Very
some
small.
concerns.
Little airport has like
Great.
8 gates.
Little,
Like,
they're often the best. But we looked into options to have you book a car. None. We looked at options for the Amtrak. We decided pretty quickly that you were not a bus girl, so you wouldn't be busting it
the
up.
Greyhound was not going to be it. I have too much money for that now. I don't do that anymore. When I was 20, maybe, but I'm also too old to sit in a bus seat for 12 hours to get back to Maine.
Oh, yeah. Probably would have had to transfer to Boston anyway, but.
And I probably would have had to transfer stations in Boston, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's not what I'm thinking about.
I think I did when I had to take the bus from Hartford to Boston and then Boston to Portland, Maine. So, there were no real options for KT. And you were like, I'm just going to try to take this plane. They might delay it.
I felt better about it after because my first flight was actually technically canceled, not delayed. And I felt better about it when they put us on the new flight. They automatically just booked us on the 10:30 flight because it was a full plane. It was not an Embraer. This was a full Boeing 737.
Big boy, yeah.
Yeah, this was 6 seats across, an economy whole meal deal. This was not the little Embraers that I usually fly on that have 3 seats across maximum. Like, this was a full plane. So I felt pretty good about this flight actually going because there was going to be a lot more people. This was pretty full. There was going to be a lot more people. I felt pretty good about this flight. We'll get to why that was a mistake, but
there were a lot of people. Yeah,
it was a lot of people. Trust me, it was a full flight. I heard from all of them.
But you were more satisfied getting off at Terminal C's bus stop.
It was better.
Looked like an legitimate airport situation, and that they were not. I don't even know what you thought about the other one, but this
I felt like I was walking. I don't know if you'll get this reference, but I felt like I was walking into Freddy Fazbear's, and they were gonna stuff me in an animatronic suit. Like that's what it looked like. The internet will get that reference.
Okay, I'm happy for you and for them.
I'll send you videos. You'll understand later.
Okay, so we make our way to Terminal C. And, we leisurely stroll. I think we had a little bit of pace because mine was supposed to be taking off, actually.
Pretty soon, yeah.
So we made our way down to the gate. And it was one of those situations, I have seen a worse gate in my life, but not many. This definitely ranks. Because it was a sideways situation. And there were multiple gates and sideways and lines to wait in. And my biggest predicament, at least at first, was the fact that because it was on an end, I could see the plane for one of the gates, and I could see the plane for another gate. But try as I may, I could not see the plane from my gate.
Correct.
So it was a real mystery whether it was there or not. But
and you did try. You did try. I mean, you were like the whole time.
I did try, but then we actually found out that was my plane.
That was actually your plane, which should have
been there the whole time.
Yeah.
They were loading up the snacks.
For a long fucking time. That's a lot of snacks.
An unreasonably long amount of time.
Correct.
But the plane was there, and that was one of the major hiccups. So eventually, after, many, I don't think they were delays, but it was just later and later, and it kept saying, taking off soon, and we were like,
Not even on the plane, yeah.
Yeah. But I eventually made my way.
Correct.
And eventually took off. And made my way home and went to bed. And you had maybe another hour, something like that,
Yeah, about an hour before we were supposed to start boarding, because we were supposed to take off at like 12:15 ish. Or we were supposed to no, we were supposed to board at 12:15. We were supposed to take off at like 12:30.
You tried to make the best of a bad situation. You had your book. You were gonna make some progress. You started reading Akatar, which is a whole nother journey that we'll discuss.
We'll get there. Yeah.
You were gonna read through the book. You were gonna finish the book, work on that.
Yeah, this is fine.
Great.
Yeah, no problem.
Would love that. Yeah. But there were a few problems.
There were a few problems. But we did not start boarding until it was time, the posted time that we were supposed to leave. So it was about a half hour late. But whatever. They got us on the plane. It was fine. Right? It was fine. We are on the plane. We're all in there. The couple sitting next to me, I don't know if they were pissed off that they had someone in their window seat, but whatever. When I came to sit, so this is, I don't think I told you this part, but when I came to my seat, I was in 30F. Okay? I had the window seat.
I remember her well, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there.
So there was, the woman was sitting in the aisle seat, the man was in the middle seat, and then my seat on the end. I walked up to my seat, I'm like, I'm there, guys, sorry. And they get up, and I already had my headphones in, so I don't know. I'm sure they could tell that I could hear them, but I go to like stuff my bag under the seat, and they hadn't sit down yet, and I look over and I see them just like making eyes at each other, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. And then she just eventually looks at him and goes, it's fine, I'll sit in the middle. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to chill here and read my book, guys.
I'm just going to sit in my assigned seat.
Correct.
On the plane.
Like, the seat that I picked. Yeah, this is not Southwest. Like, we pick seats, like, you know, and I know that's changed, but that's not the point. That will forever be the meme. Anyway, so I sit down. It's fine. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. We taxi. We take off. They turn off the lights. I turn on my light. They're sleeping. I'm reading my book because I know if I sleep, it's just going to be horrendous from here on out. My poor husband is, you know, actively making his way to the airport to come pick me up at 3 o'clock or at 2 o'clock in the morning, even though he has to be at work at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Because, you know, you can track the flight, and he sees it's
and
going.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
My aviation obsessed husband is tracking the flight actively. So everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Flash forward. Hold on. Let me give you a timestamp. Let me give you a timestamp here.
When I went back and read these with
timestamps, my just de-evolution of existence in this moment. Hold on, we text each other a lot. I gotta go back really far.
No. Yet once my husband was like, "Is that what all those dings are in the middle of the night?"
Yeah, it was me.
Well, I don't know if it was that night or just the TikToks that we send each other. But
yeah, it could be both. It could go either way here. Just text after text after text, honestly. I mean, because what else? When we're not together, you know, we must communicate in various forms. There can't just be one conversation. There has to be many. All right, so here we are. I'm back to them. All right, so at 12:42, I texted you, finally on the fucking plane, and you hearted it. That was the last communication I had from you. At 12:42, at 2:42 a.m., 2:42 a.m., I texted you, they turned us around. That was the text.
That was the crucial text that I missed.
At 2:42 a.m., at 2:42 a.m., the pilot came over the intercom and goes, so unfortunately, guys, I have some bad news. And I'm like, he just paused. You know, I used to work for a sales company, and there was a method of speaking that you could use as a sales tactic that was pilot speak. They literally train these guys on how to talk.
Sure, but I don't know if I have some bad news coming from my airline pilot is the cliffhanger I'm looking for.
Correct.
To add a little spice in my life. I think I really just need to know the information directly.
It's a method that is actually scientifically proven. There's been psychological studies on it that they talk slow, even tones, almost monotoned, and with a lot of pauses in between phrases to keep everything calm. So he goes, so guys, I unfortunately have some bad news. And he pauses. And I'm like,
that flight is anything
what
less than cold.
Most
Now,
people,
what was the...
Most people are
Were they asleep?
Most people were asleep.
Okay, great.
So
That's so much
I think the pause was really to give people time to like listen. But he paused
like elbow your neighbor and be like, wake up.
Yeah, a good 5 to 10 seconds. And he goes, so unfortunately there's really thick fog at Portland Airport. And then he pauses again. I will never forget. He pauses again. And I'm sitting there.
We knew, by the way.
Yeah,
right? Very little bit. We knew
about this. And he goes, so unfortunately, air traffic control closed at midnight, and it is thicker than predicted. So we've been talking with our dispatch, and it sounds like legally, and he just stopped right there at legally for a minute. Legally,
he threw legally in there because he knew he was going to need that.
Correct. Legally, legally we cannot land. So we've been talking to our dispatch, and they are telling us just to go back to Newark. So it'll be about a half hour, and we'll be back in New Jersey. And then he stopped talking. That was
now for anyone who's unfamiliar. Okay, so Newark Airport, New Jersey, surrounding New York City. Portland, Maine is a good 6-hour drive from there.
Yeah,
quite some distance. Within a 2-hour drive from Portland, Maine is major airport Boston Logan.
Correct. So I
will never understand
is why they didn't just take us to Boston. Yeah, who knows?
Because all of those people on a Sunday evening, all of those people who had to be at work Monday or whatever it might be, could have taken an early Amtrak train,
a flight,
up to Portland,
a train, the Concorde.
The Concorde is, if you know, you know. The Concorde is the best way to get back and forth from Boston to Portland, Maine.
Correct.
It's the one bus you'll ever hear me recommend for sure. And it's of the options, it's the best one and most affordable. And why they couldn't drop you there,
I'll never understand. Could not tell you. I would like to also correct my earlier statement. So I texted you at 2:42 a.m. However, I texted Matt at 2:01 a.m. So it was at 2:01 a.m. when they told us we would not be actually landing in Portland. Which was
I don't know if we can say that text over there.
No, that was the time that we were supposed to land, was at 2. So anyway, they turn our asses around. We go back
What do you think would be worse? Would you have rather just been asleep and woken up in Newark Airport again? Or would you rather have just been simmering in your seat for this 2+ hour flight back to Newark Airport?
Well, it was 30 minutes. It's only an hour flight from New York to Portland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's only an hour flight. There was a headwind, so it took us a little bit longer to get to Portland than normal. But because there was a headwind, it was a tailwind on the way back, and it only took 30 minutes to get back to Newark. So when I texted you, I was already asked in a seat in the gate after going back to Newark.
I do think I'm fairly calm in stressful situations. I've seen my loved ones get stressed around me, and I'm just, there's nothing we can do. It's, we discussed that at the airport, people like dying to get on the plane and things like that. I understand the luggage argument with your carry-on, but other than that, we're all going to get on this plane, guys. We all have an assigned seat. Like, that seat has my name, not written on it in reality, but digitally.
Yeah.
There's, it's for me. It's okay if I need to go to the bathroom or do whatever I need to do. It's mine. I'm going to get on the plane. There's such a fuss over this. As someone who travels, I fly generally once or twice a week. And it's such a source of stress for everyone. They're freaking out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I
was
could have remained calm. I mean, there was
didn't
nothing
have
else
a
to do,
choice.
but
Yeah, I was so exhausted already, so exhausted, and there was literally nothing I could do. So I literally just laughed. Like I laughed to myself and then went back to reading my book because what else was I supposed to do? I had no other options. I couldn't even get on the internet so I could start like researching other options or anything like that. Like I couldn't do anything except sit there and read my book, so that's what I did.
I'm pleasantly surprised that the airport remained open because I've heard horror stories that they say you can't stay in the airport overnight then.
And I don't know if that may generally be true and it may just be because we got shipped back. I don't know. It also could be because United would not give us any vouchers of any kind because it was out of their control. That's a whole different argument, like whatever. I don't even care about that. I don't even care. But, okay, so, yeah. Anyway, we get back to Newark. We land, and we pull right back into the same gate that we left out of. And we all get off the plane, and there's a gate agent there, and she's telling everybody that we won't get vouchers and stuff, and people are yelling at her, and I'm like, guys, this is super unnecessary. Like, it's obviously not this poor woman's fault. Like, it's not her fault, right? Like, she's just a lady, right?
One other thing I'd like to point out: the poor staff everywhere at the gates, at the airports. I mean, not the Portland airport because no one was there. I did, in fact, tell you after living in Maine for a year and a half as well, which is where we met, that after midnight, your flight was scheduled to land after midnight, and there was no one awake at Portland, Maine. I recall joking to you to have your husband grab some glow sticks so that he could land the plane, and maybe an inflatable slide to get you off the plane. And in fact, they wouldn't even touch no wheels down.
Yeah.
But the poor staff on the aircraft, at the gates, you know, the whole team certainly timed out. So that was a whole other factor.
And also, you just gotta think, like, how many of them was, especially the crew on the plane with us, that was probably they were probably going home too. Like, or at least going to sleep.
Imagine how their day's been.
Yeah.
You know, they've had frustrated customers all day long. A flight in which we understand.
Correct. So anyway, we land. Everybody's yelling at the gate agent. I eventually make my way to the gate agent, and I had been, while I was waiting in line to talk to her, like researching.
I forgot about this.
And so I get up to her, and I had decided that I was going to take an Amtrak instead. And there's a whole couple of things that happened there, called United, a whole thing. Get up to the gate agent, and I'm like, I'm going to take an Amtrak. Can I get my bag? And she was like, oh, I can't get that for you. You got to go to baggage services outside of security. And I said, okay, fine.
Which was something we discussed earlier, the lack of access to your checked bag, which I understand. But when your flight kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed, you were like, I just want to put my sweatpants on and take my makeup off. Like, I don't care how late we're here. I just want to be comfortable.
I just wanted to take my makeup off, which I did eventually buy. They had makeup wipes in the little, like, open AI shops that they have. And I did buy some makeup wipes and wipe off my makeup finally. It was totally expired. She was destroyed. But I did eventually take my makeup off. But I could live, like, I was fine otherwise. But so I exit security. I go to bag services. I go down to bag services, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to take an Amtrak. My flight's been delayed 8 times. I'm going to take an Amtrak. Can I get my bag? And they said, yeah, we'll go get your bag. Don't worry. Just wait here. I said, okay. I should have been worried.
Don't worry.
So I think it was about 20 minutes later, maybe 20 to 25 minutes later, and I see this gentleman walking back. No pink bag. My bag was not in sight. I have a pink suitcase. It's very big. I would have seen it if he had it. There was no suitcase. I'm like, what the fuck? So he comes up and he's like, I can't get your bag. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, because they're not unloading the plane. And I'm like, so I can't have my bag because they're not unloading the plane? I was like, why aren't they unloading the plane? He was like, because you're going to take the same plane out later. I was like, so I can't have my bag. He's like, no, you can't have your bag.
I don't intend to take that flight, sir.
Correct. I was like, so he was like, you can't have your bag. You can pick it up at the Portland airport tomorrow.
No. Oh, man. No.
And so I'm like, okay, all right, fine. So I just decide, all right, fine. fine. I'll wait. I'll wait for the flight. So I did. I got another coffee. I got some fruit snacks. I got my makeup wipes. And I sat at a table and plugged my electronics in. And then I fell asleep on, like, torso on top of the table the way, like, kids do on top of their desks in high school. And I slept maybe a total of 2 hours, I think, combined, potentially. I don't know. The other bad part, before even the gate agent stuff, when they told us we were turning around and we got back, we all got an email that said that we would now be leaving at 3:14 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Because then, like, 10 minutes later, we got another email saying, actually, it's going to be 9 a.m. Great. So I was like...
Didn't they at one point prior to the first departure from Newark?
They did move the flight up by half an hour and then push it even further back. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did happen.
For you.
Yeah.
My favorite part was the text thread from here. 4:59 in the morning. You know, just there were no bookstores open, and you finished your book, and you were
the saga. I had to keep you informed, ma'am. I had to report back to the board of directors.
It made me so happy, but it's when I went back and like read the full thing word for word.
My de-evolution of sanity. Yeah. So fine, whatever. I go to sleep. I eat my snacks. I have my Starbucks wrap and the bottled ones. Whatever. It was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, regular Starbucks isn't open yet.
Correct.
The true travesty.
Yeah. Everything was closed. All the stuff was closed except those little AI stores. So anyway, rolls around. Well, I mean, the bookstore eventually opened. They did not have the book that I needed. It was fine. Whatever. I did get a coffee. Whatever. So eventually, the time has come. We were supposed to start loading at about 8:15 for our 9 a.m. flight. We did not board the plane. I got on the plane at 8:55 a.m. So we're already late. So anyway, it's fine. We eventually get on the plane. We taxi.
At this point.
Yeah. We taxi off the gate. We're sitting on the runway. And they're like, they come over the intercom. So there is a line of planes to go out. We're going to be here about a half hour. Great. Fantastic.
You know what I really wanted to do is spend more time in this exact seat on this exact plane.
But, all right. But listen. So they told me they could not get my bag because they weren't unloading the plane. All right. So in my original seat, I booked a window seat because I like the window seats. I like to look out the window, as we had discussed. However, this was one of those seats where, like, the windows are kind of shifted. So the window didn't actually start until, like, my shoulder. So I didn't actually have a window to look at it.
On the same plane the first time or the same plane the second time?
Well, that was how it was on the first plane. But they told me they could not get my bag because they were not unloading the plane. Okay, that's what they told me. That's what they had said. I believed them. I was a fool. We got on plane number 2 to go to Newark, or to go to Portland for the second time. It was a different fucking plane. And I knew it was because I had the same seat number, but the window was not behind me. It was, in fact, a window seat that I could actually look out of. So they did unload the plane and put all of the luggage on the new plane, and therefore could have given me my bag. But that's just the cherry on top. So anyway, we sit on the runway for about 30 minutes. We finally take off about 10 a.m. We're in the air. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna listen to Halsey. I'm gonna sleep a little bit. And I did. It was nice. It was fine. Everything was fine. They come over the intercom, prepare for landing. Okay, great. We're actually gonna land. I love that for us. We land.
Were you like in Portland, right?
Correct. In Portland. Yes. So we hit the ground. Everything's fine. We stop. And I'm like, oh, maybe we're at the gate. Pilot comes over the intercom. So it looks like a couple of gates are under construction. They don't actively have the gate that we were supposed to be at ready for us, and there's currently a plane blocking the runway, so we can't get to the new gate for us. We're going to be here a while. Another 13 minutes passes. It's about 11:30 a.m. now. We finally pull into a gate. We finally get off the fucking plane.
Thankfully, Portland is a very efficient jet port, and you can just kind of grab your check bag and be on your merry way.
Yeah, like it was so fast that I got off the plane, I went to the bathroom, I went to get my bag, and it was so fast that my bag had already been taken off of the runway that bags come on, and another plane's bags were on that runway. All of our bags were just standing there. So I got my bag, and then I called my Uber because my husband was at work because my plane was so far delayed that he could not pick me up. I instead had to take an Uber from Portland, Maine to Biddeford, Maine.
Because he anticipated picking you up 16 hours prior when your flight was actually scheduled.
Correct.
Even more than that, actually, I believe. But if we're talking original time. But.
Yeah, correct. So I eventually got home about noon. Yeah, I got home about noon. Slept for a while because I was fucking tired. Left my AirPods in my jeans that got washed, so now they're kind of wrecked.
They sound just fine, I'm sure.
They don't, but it's all right.
I've washed several an AirPod in my day, unfortunately.
Yep, this is a first for me, but I was fucking
it just
tired.
Sounds like I'm in the ocean.
It does. It sounds like we're a little bit underwater, honestly.
I don't know. I'm sure they exist, but I don't mean to make light of it. But I truly, I don't know if I've heard a worse flight story. As someone, again, who flies anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week, honestly, yeah. I hear about all these things happening in the news. In America, there aren't really many rules right now, especially if you're, controlling aircraft.
Yeah.
But I think your story gives me more pause than any of those other ones.
I will say, the only silver lining to this whole story, and I'm not usually on the side of the banks, all right? Not on the side of the banks, not here for them. But I will book banks.
We're going to defend, okay.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Just listen to my story. I will, from now on, book everything that I possibly can through Capital One Travel and get the travel disruption service that cost me $19. It was $19 for the travel disruption insurance because they gave me all of the money back for my flights. All of it.
I mean, it's, this is an example of us applauding the bare minimum, as women often have to, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Especially under such duress.
They do a lot of things wrong. They did a lot of things wrong. But no, I paid $227 for the round trip flights between Portland and Newark to Portland. I got back $209. So I really only paid $18. I guess if you include the $19. Yeah. I only paid I only paid $37 for my flights.
We could have done more shopping.
Yeah, if you include the travel insurance. $37 was what I paid for my flight. So, I mean, I will take that as a win because I have to. Otherwise, it will just be sad. But yeah, it was pretty bad.
I can't imagine. And when I read back, the messages, my heart breaks for you.
It's just like
you were spiraling pretty hard.
I was so tired. I really, at one point, was sitting down and started crying a little bit because I was so tired.
What really might have set me off, the two things that would have set me off were the disruption to caffeine, the disruption to my coffee. Because when I was 17, I liked those mocha frappuccino bullshits that just liquid in the bottle. No, I need a steady stream.
Yeah, I had a couple Red Bulls also,
But what would have really been the nail in the coffin for me was that you probably passed 2 to 3, there were probably 2 to 3 bookstores in your gate.
There was 2.
In your terminal.
There was 2. I went to both of them.
You're reading a very popular series.
Very, like, probably, if we had to think about the 5 most popular book series out right now that are actively being read at this moment, this is probably number 2. Like, I would say the, what are the dragon
Front of Glass?
ones? No, the dragon ones. I have them on my bookshelf. Fourth Wing.
Oh.
I would say Fourth Wing's probably number 1. ACOTAR and Throne of Glass probably go back and forth for second and third place. And then I don't care what the other ones are at this point. But
I would have understood if they didn't have maybe the 5th book in the series, perhaps. But I feel like the first, second, and third, like...
So I go to the, like, so, all right, hold on. I have the text messages pulled up. So at 4:59, I finished my book. That's when I texted you. And which worked out because according to the Newark website, the bookstores were supposed to open at 5 a.m. I can tell you right now they did not. They opened at 5:30. So Starbucks opened at 4, the big one, not the one that was near my gate, the big one in the center of the terminal. So I had to go to that one. Yeah, had to go to that one. Got a chai latte. It was fine. That was coffee number 4, according to my text. At 5, it must have been 6 a.m. actually. 6 a.m. they opened because at 5:55 a.m. was when I texted you that neither bookstore was open. So the first bookstore that I went to was the one that was close to my gate. They did not have any of the ACOTAR books. None whatsoever. They did, however, have the entirety of the Throne of Glass series in the young adult section, which is a topic for a different time. So then I go to the second bookstore, which was all the way as far as humanly possible from where I was in the terminal. And they had books 4 and books 5 of ACOTAR. But they did not have books 1 through 3. So it was the really skinny one. The really skinny one, and then the 5th one, but they did not have any of the others. Forget about it. They didn't have it. So I was SOL on that front.
Obviously, you could never, but like book 2, which you're currently reading, I believe. Obviously critical. There's a real shift that happens there.
The internet has been priming me for that, so I'm ready.
Impression you're given in book 1 versus some things you learn in book 2. So you just could never have. Did you buy a different book to read?
No, I did not. I just suffered.
You just scrolled TikTok.
Correct. I didn't have the brain power to look at anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I did think about going back to the first bookstore and getting the Throne of Glass, but I was like, I can't do that. I don't have the brain power for that. I won't be able to keep anything straight.
Yeah, I wouldn't have recommended that. As much as I am loving Throne of Glass, I don't know that I would have recommended hopping in and out of the worlds.
Yeah, that's fair. So, yeah, that was my time. I finally made it home. And it was fine. And we'll just fly into LaGuardia from now on, or I'll take the Amtrak. I'll just run my ass into Moynihan Station and live my life.
Looks beautiful, Moynihan Station.
Yeah, it does.
I did have a flight out of Newark Airport. We went home Sunday night. Well, I'm sorry. I went home Sunday night.
You did.
And I flew back into Newark Airport on Tuesday morning and had to go home on Wednesday morning. Well, I had to go to another location on Wednesday. And it wasn't anywhere near as bad as your experience.
But you were also significantly delayed.
It was definitely questionable. The flight kept getting delayed. And same thing, what was crazy is that they put us, when it was time to board, this was the worst gate I've ever seen. There was no seating. No seating for 3 gates. Like micro gates. I don't know. But when they call you, they line up to board, and then we like go down this escalator and out and around and get on a bus, which I sent you a picture of.
You did.
And it just says Richmond, Virginia, which is where I was flying to at the time.
And they took you to the plane, right? So
they took us to the plane, which there was no gate, which maybe there just wasn't a gate. I don't know.
So apparently this is a thing, because the people who I was sitting next to on the flight, they were talking about that. They were talking about that this is a thing. Apparently they travel a lot. I don't know where, but they travel a lot, and they've had that many times.
I fly on some small planes. when I fly into like Norfolk and some other places, but
Yeah.
when there isn't a like a gate door, when there's a ramp that I have to walk out, but you still come out of a terminal. Like you still come out of a gate in the terminal. And maybe it's just me, or I'm not flying into as many small destinations. I'm not sure, but I mean, everyone seemed pretty confused when the bus just stopped in the middle of the not runway, but there was a plane just chilling in the middle. Just you could see some of the other planes, you could see some of the other gates, and they were just like, "No, get on." Just everyone right now. It was a very small plane. There wasn't the carry-ons. They had these compartments to like just stack them on top of each other vertically for your carry-on, as opposed to there was no overhead bin space. So this was a small plane, but it was a pretty booked plane too.
That's
so.
very small because even the Embraers that I usually fly out of Portland on have the overhead storage.
I don't know any of their names.
I have an aviation obsessed husband. Like I have learned them through osmosis.
There's a double-decker one.
Yeah, there's many of those. Those are usually for international flights, so I have learned. Because they have very big fuselages.
Sure. I'm just breezed by that one. Yeah. I'll look that up later.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, that's the saga. So
that was nonsense in New York.
And I wish that I could blame. I wish I had somebody to blame, but I don't. It was just the perfect confluence of events to end up in a very very long night in Newark, New Jersey. I almost called our mutual friend to just like go stay at her house in New Jersey because she's there. I didn't, but I almost did. I almost asked her, be like, "Can you just come pick me up? Can I just take your car and I'll come bring you back to Portland, Maine?"
I can't wait until you tell her about this.
Oh my God. She goes back to work this week, and I might have to go in just to regale the tale to her.
Oh my God. I can just hear, you cannot make this shit up.
No, exactly.
Well, I hope that your second 29th birthday was well worth it for the journey that you went through at the end.
It was a very good time. We had a very good time, I think. Yeah.
You saw Van Gogh in person.
I did.
We had many a treat, many a laugh. We learned how to travel together, which was great preparation for when the ladies take Mexico in October.
Yes, correct.
Very excited
for that. Cannot come soon enough.
In fact, we booked the trip while in New York. We booked the hotel.
We have to book the flight.
Correct, but we checked the flights, and there were maybe 3 seats taken on a very large flight.
Very big plane. Very big.
We're gonna give it another week. I think the end of August at the very latest, and then we can.
Yeah, I feel like that would be good because then I still have to book. However, I'm going to travel from Portland to Dallas as well.
Yep. And then, in theory, we could do 2 live pods. As well.
We could. That would be pretty great.
You purchased a perfect bag. You did some lovely shopping while there.
So good. Beautiful bag. Beautiful Poland bag. Love it.
I enjoyed going to some of the stores. I liked going to I liked the Real Real. That was cool to see in person. I liked Bergdorf Goodman.
That was very intense. I have never ever in my life felt out of place in a store until that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent us on a wild goose chase for your lipstick that I don't think you've acquired yet either.
But that's okay. I'll get it eventually. It's
more shopping to be had.
Correct. I mean, we did save so much money. I saved, if you combine the flight and the Louboutins that I did not buy, I saved $1,000. So I think I deserve a $45 lipstick.
I mean, that's basic math.
Correct. I mean, we're really coming out ahead on this one.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Oh, and we didn't even get into the shows.
Oh my goodness.
We have to discuss for just a moment. I I mean, I do have a favorite. I love them both, though. I really did.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen the movie. On this, the second show we saw was Death Becomes Her. And I mean, Megan Hilty Hive forever.
Oh, she's
She
just
was so
as
good.
stunning in person as in the internet.
The whole cast, the whole ensemble was phenomenal.
So good.
There were a few people, some of the original cast members had the day off. We did not get the delight of seeing Michelle Williams in the role.
But understandably, I mean, Beyonce called and she had to be there, so.
If Beyonce called, I would answer.
Correct.
But her understudy was phenomenal.
Oh my god, so good.
As were several others. So that was a treat. I'd never seen the movie, and I had no problem following and having a great time there. But I loved Six. I can't stop singing Six. It was a perfect musical, in my opinion. I love musicals. I've sat through some much longer ones.
Yeah.
I loved the concept of the 80-minute musical. They each have a song, and then they each have one together as like bookends, and then the middle. So, but it was just a banging soundtrack that I can't get out of my head. Crystal Hernandez,
love,
who played Anna of Cleves, just stole the show for us for sure. And I'm following them on social media. They're having the time of their lives, singing at the Yankees game, performing in Bryant Park, doing all these cool things. And I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. It was very good. It was just like top tier. Top tier, honestly, just so fun, so upbeat and peppy. There was no like a lot of like shows in general have the rise and fall throughout them. That's like the natural flow of acts. But there was no acts. It was all act one. It was all like it kept the same energy throughout the whole thing. There was no up or down. It was just level in the best possible way.
And what was I just gonna say? Lost my train of thought. Oh no. Oh, what I was gonna say is that we unfortunately came to the city a little bit after the Tonys. So there were two shows I think that we really did want to see. I was very interested in seeing Just in Time. I love Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to see Oh Mary, and we could not justify the price. We don't have that many money.
It was the cost of both of the shows we saw tied together plus a little bit extra just to see that one show.
Yeah, would have loved. And next goal to be able to say for the culture, I will pay Cola Scola, whatever.
A handsome sub. Yeah.
I mean, but I feel the trip was a success.
I think so.
From the beginning until almost bitter end.
Correct. But no, it was a good time. Overall, it cannot be marred by the experience at the airport. I mean, technically that was in New Jersey, so I can't blame New York for that. I mean, what else do you expect from New Jersey? Yeah, so it did not mar the experience, but we did have a great time. We had a fun time together, I think.
I can't wait until our next trip. I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be much more low-key.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Much more low-key.
I think we've decided 1 to 2 activities perhaps that are not like spa/sitting by the pool with our books. So
correct.
Very excited for this actual relaxation.
Yes, it will be excellent.
A different than New York trip. So.
Yeah. But we'll also be in a resort, so it's not like we'll be in Mexico City where there is like the same level of things to do. We're at a resort on an island that we can't get off of unless we take the resort's boat.
Sure. One thing I do want to mention from our trip is that we had one evening where we were like, I could see it in you. Now, I can push myself to the bitter end until I fall over in the street. But I could see it. I could see that it was weighing on you. Just to travel, we were go. We were 24/7. You had some stuff going on. I had some stuff going on. And I looked at you. I at what point in the day, and I was like, hey, would it be better if we had a dinner reservation for every night? And I was like, would it be better if we just like ordered pizza in tonight and like hung out and just chit chat and send each other TikToks while quietly sitting in beds next to each other? And you were like, yes. We had a reservation at the Waverly Inn, a Taylor Swift hotspot. However, I had asked you about pizza because I think I'd seen the look on your face whenever some other reservations had started popping up. We really wanted to go to Sema, which is supposed to be the best Indian food in the city, ranked #1 restaurant by the New York Times. So I had us on a wait list for that and a few other ones. And one of the ones that I did have us a wait list on was Via Carota. And a reservation had popped up, and I had asked you, I was like, should we do this, or would you rather go to one of the best Italian restaurants? And that's when we determined we would just sit in our rooms and eat pizza and exist together, which was a great time. But I forget if it was the next day. Was it you or was it my husband? I think it was you.
It was. It was in the airport. However, there is an addendum to this story. I'll let you continue on, but there's an addendum to this story.
All I know is that you just looked at me and you were like, you're never going to believe it. Taylor Swift had dinner at Via Carota last night in New York.
And you cried.
I got to come home and tell my husband, we could have had dinner. Because we're fans, we partake in what, I'm buying what Miss Swift is selling. We could say it like that.
Yeah.
But could you imagine? Now, I had a great celebrity sighting myself in New York, but nowhere near on this scale. Cause, probably the only one that could have outranked the one I had in my weird little world. But what's your addendum? Because I can't stop thinking about this.
So
I can't stop thinking about your flight, the scones, and dinner with Taylor Swift in that order.
I'm pretty
Just
sure.
my brain's rotating.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I texted you this, but we text so often that things get lost. But
correct, like how you had to fly back to Newark Airport.
Correct. But I later, I think it was Tuesday. I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday after that. But later, I was on TikTok again. I saw the same video. She was not there that night. That video was from several weeks earlier.
Okay, I feel a little better.
So we did not miss out on seeing Taylor Swift at this restaurant.
Well, I will say we don't know where she was that evening, so she could have been there, but she probably wasn't.
But somebody would have posted it, and we would have seen it, and she wasn't. I think her and Travis were actively in Florida at that time.
That's fair. I don't think we were mentally prepared at that point. Maybe we'll see them in Mexico. He'll be busy.
Could be.
Playing.
Well, no, I mean it'll be football season. They'll be busy. They'll be in Kansas City or something crazy.
Kansas City or something crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City is not where I would picture Taylor Swift spending a lot of time, so it seems crazy to me.
True, but she probably just gets to relax and be as close to normal as,
Yeah.
As opposed to us fools who are like, maybe we'll go to this restaurant she likes to go to, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a great time. We're ready for the next trip. Ready for our next shenanigans. We won't have shenanigans for a while. It's very sad, unfortunately.
True, but time is very strange. It's moved a lot faster than I ever anticipated, especially in the last few months, few years. I would do anything to slow it down most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go back and forth between wanting to speed it up and then just really slow it down and appreciate where I am. I do.
I'm ready to speed it up. I'm ready to leave Maine.
You would like to leave Maine, so.
Which, I mean, there's a lot of great things here. There's a lot of great things here in Maine. It's fantastic. Love that for them. However, I would like to get back to society.
Yeah, there's not an appropriate mall for you, number one.
This mall, all right, let's be fair. The South Portland Mall, like, I
The
expected
main mall.
worse. Yeah, I expected
Well,
worse. They have a Free People now. There's a Lululemon. Like, the Macy's is actually pretty good. They have a Sephora and Ulta. They're, like, I mean, for where we are, I'm impressed. Could
I'll
be
take it.
a lot. I expected a lot worse out of Maine. I honestly did. I honestly did. However, it could also be better. Could be better.
Well. If you are thinking about visiting Maine, if you're thinking about visiting Maine, book the trip. Like, could not endorse enough.
Yeah.
Whenever I only got to spend one summer there, which I'm actually pretty bummed about. I mean, everything worked out really well for me in my personal life, but we loved my husband and I really loved our time there. We loved like mid-coast Maine.
Mhm.
Up, you go a little bit north. I mean, spend a little time in Portland. I really love the beach town south of Portland, Ogunquit, Wells, Kennebunk. And then I really loved north of Portland. Portland's worth a day or two. I don't think it's worth planning your whole trip around per se, unless you're a huge foodie and have certain restaurants. But even then, I think you'll tap out pretty quickly. Um, Northern Maine with Bar Harbor, just stunning. Loved
Booth
her. Loved
Booth Bay
Acadia.
Harbor is also really
Booth Bay
great,
Harbor.
really underrated. Like if you don't want to go to the craziness that is Bar Harbor,
Yeah.
Booth Bay Harbor would
Stay in
recommend.
Harpswell.
Yeah.
The town is called Harpswell. It's a little peninsula. And my husband and I and his family stayed in, I think it was called the Harpswell Inn. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful little B&B, and we had the best time. It was within an hour to Booth Bay. I think it was near Brunswick, so
Mhm.
you got a little bit of not city, but there was a great little like market and stuff there where we got breakfast. It was like a market bakery combination all in one. This really cool space.
Well, I think
It was near
Brunswick is
the
like the third or fourth biggest town or biggest city in Maine.
it's near the university.
Yeah.
So that but it worked out really well and it was just beautiful. There was so much to do there. I so desperately we went whale watching in our time there. We loved that. We took a lighthouse tour with my mother-in-law. She loved that, and as did we. I wanted to see the puffins in either Acadia or I think Booth Bay Harbor had a
Had
tour
a
as
puffin
well.
thing.
But
Yeah.
spend a week or two in the summer in Maine. It just beautiful.
Yeah.
Would need more details about you personally to know if you should move to Maine. But definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, 100%. Even the inland, like if you go inland into the like lakes region, is very
Yep,
beautiful also. Like would recommend like Highland Lake in particular is a favorite, but all of the lakes regions are very nice. Sebago, all of them.
very beautiful.
Yeah, nice. Not to live though.
Not for everyone. Some
Not for
people will be
everyone.
delighted.
It's a different way of life for sure. Absolutely
It
is.
really is. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's cool. Like, I live in Northern Virginia now. I live 45 minutes or so outside of DC, if even. And I travel around for work. I don't see it as often, but my husband works here. It's a very different pace, a very different standard in a lot of ways. And I don't know, we find ourselves missing that slower way of life, at least sometimes. So
I don't.
the kindness of the people, the I don't know,
I can live
small
without
business.
that.
Oh, we'll
I
go
can.
back and visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go back and visit.
Move
I
on.
was promised that. I think I said every 3 years. I could go for every 5, but I don't know. I would love to go back to Maine a few times. It was beautiful.
Yeah. It's
But the search
fine.
begins for the next location. I mean, Mexico for us, and then maybe another trip. But pardon me, the goal is that the girls will live closer together at some point.
Which will be great. That would be fantastic. We could actually see each other without having to fly. That would be fun.
Would love.
Would love. We could reliably get, food after 7 p.m.
Yeah, you can't do that in Maine. Don't count on that.
Nope.
I'll never forget when we moved there, it was September, the end of September, and the first few weeks, like before we got into the craziness of work and some things there, we would just be like walking our dog at maybe 8 p.m. at night, and not a light was on in these homes. Everyone's in bed. Everyone's asleep. Like they are
Out.
they do their own thing.
Yeah.
They are on their own schedule. Yep.
It's a different world. But I don't know. It's fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. We just get to leave. We just get to leave eventually, and that will be great. Yes, yeah. It's been a great time, great experience. I'm very glad that we did what we did, and we moved out here from Oregon. But it is a different ball game for sure.
Imagine if we'd never met each other.
I know that would be very sad. I do think about that and how crazy that would be to not know each other. Now I can't live without you, and I was like, what if we had never met?
Exactly. It was all happened the way it was supposed to.
Correct.
Okay, my friend. Well, I know that we had many other
more
topics.
things. Yeah, but we expounded greatly.
We're gonna have a running list all the time, so we are going to meet back here next week and discuss some more nonsense in the world.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be discussed. There's a lot. I'm already adding more things to the list. I have some scandals in the makeup world to clue you into, so that will be fun. There is a big one. I literally just learned about it 20 minutes before, so this will give me more time to research. But 20 minutes before we started recording, I learned about this happening, and it is a rabbit hole. So get ready for it. Buckle up.
I'm hooked.
Yeah.
We would be remiss not to discuss your book journey. You are currently reading ACOTAR. I'm reading Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
As cliche as we could be at the moment, but so excited to get into it.
I have resisted for a very long time. Finally hopped in, and now here we are. So we will discuss more. I'll do more reading this week I'm only like 60 pages into the second book, so I think I need more time.
That's kind of perfect. I will be home actually on Thursday night and Friday night. So
you wait to spend 2 extra nights in your home this week?
Well, I'm actually scheduling the way I'm probably supposed to, where we have on Thursday night I'm working near where I live because that's part of my area to work in, but also because we have a meeting on Friday and then meetings on Monday, and I'm going to actually take the time to prepare for those and, do my work in the office partly on Thursday and then on Friday. So
that's nice.
Love that for me. But we can yap about books and makeup and any other nonsense we'd like.
I love
anytime you want.
Yeah. We're scheduling that nonsense.
I love nonsense with you, and I also love scheduling. So.
Perfect world. That we created for ourselves.
I can go with the flow as long as I know what time the flow is happening. And
correct. What time does the flow start? And we'll be there. Correct.
Exactly. Yep. So.
All right, my friend.
We'll see you next week. I'm a friend.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.